I told a guy I love him. What I meant to say was, oh, I love that. But I got so caught up that I yelled out, oh, I love you. And then all of a sudden he got this look on his face like Indiana Jones running from the big ball.
Well, Roz, do you love him?
No, but I said it, so he should have said it back. It's just polite.
There is no more emotionally charged phrase in the language than I love you. Some people are just incapable of saying it. It makes them too vulnerable.
And that's from Frasier. And isn't that true that sometimes we say it too readily? You say it to your neighbor, you say it to your cleaning lady, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. But to the person who's most important in your life, to the person who you genuinely love or people you love, maybe your kids, sometimes it's hard to get those words to come out. And when that's the case, you want to take a closer look. Hey, what's behind this? Why am I not able to express the words? Why am I not able to tell my kids, I love you? What's going on there? If it's a mystery to you, you want to figure it out. I'm Dr. Ellen Kenner, and my show is The Rational Basis of Happiness. I'm a clinical psychologist, and that means it's an opportunity for you to pick up the phone and give me a call with any questions that are on your mind, whether it's with your kids or your in-laws or yourself or friends.
Why can't I just have a normal boyfriend? Why? Just a regular boyfriend who doesn't go nuts on me.
Okay, my number's toll-free, 1-877-Dr. That's toll-free, 1-877-DRKENNER. And you can also visit my website, drkenner.com, for books I recommend, articles, and podcasts. And right now I want to welcome Marion to the show. Marion, you lost your daughter?
Yes, ma'am. It was about 5 years ago, yes. And we were in a real terrible accident.
Car accident?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It was a car accident. I was going to a friend of mine, and to be honest with you, I really don't know exactly what happened. If I was going too fast or if I fell asleep, I honestly do not know. But one thing led to another, and I slammed into a tree, and it was me and my older daughter and my son and my daughter Katie. We were all in the van.
Yeah.
And we all survived, but Katie, she did not. She's in heaven. I'm a Christian. I'm a Lutheran Christian, and I do believe that that she is in heaven, and I will see her again one day.
So what would you like some help with?
Okay, I don't know how to.
What's torturing you?
How do I deal with it, I guess? Because what I think now, I think it, but I know that it's silly to think this, but I'm always like, if I buy this, or if I buy that, or if I don't know, if I do this or do that, if I clean the house, then Katie's going to come back, and everything will be fine. But at the same time, I know that's not going to happen. I know that's not possible. But
tell me about the part that says it's not possible. Part of you says it is. Part of you says it isn't.
There you go. Yeah. Well, because I know that we all survived and she did not, and she is gone, and she's gone, and we are still here on this earth, and that she is with Jesus. I know this, but then another part says that she's going to come back, and I don't understand why I'm feeling these two different emotions.
Okay, so when you have a conflict like that in your own mind that's really messing you up, what you need to do is resolve the contradiction, because it can't be that she's coming back if you buy bananas or if you buy peaches and you're waiting for her to come back, and yet you've wrapped your mind around some dynamic like that, some pattern like that. And partly you want to be very, very good to yourself. It's complicated grief when you lose someone who it's not a timely death. A timely death is when someone is in their 90s and they die.
Exactly. She's only 5 years old.
And that's what I was going to ask you. How old is she? She's 5 years old. And man, if I were the mom in that car, one of the emotions that I would feel would be terror and horror, and I'm saying a few of the emotions, and guilt. I would feel enormous guilt.
Well, I did for a while, but then I finally came to the realization that it wasn't my fault. It is one of these things that happened, and I'm not beating myself up anymore.
So
I know.
You've come a long ways then in the grief process. If you know that you didn't deliberately, try to do anything, and you know that you fell asleep or you might have been driving too fast, which all of us do at times, and that driving is, you're going 60 miles an hour or you're driving, it can even, my husband and I had a head-on collision in our driveway. A head-on collision, and we were both okay. We were going at slow speeds, but strange things can happen.
Yes.
So you can be as long as you've dealt with the guilt piece, that would be my first one. The second is the loss. The loss of a child is so painful. I've worked with multiple parents who've lost kids, all ages, and it's so painful that you just don't want to let those last threads go. You want to think, they'll come back. You wake up hoping they'll be there. You dream about them. The longing and the desperate longing is so deep that your mind can play, it's not that it's playing tricks on you, but your longing can make you create ways to think that you can be powerful to bring them back. Are you following me?
Yeah.
And so you can come up with things that are almost, there's no causal connection. Well, if I buy the groceries here, she'll come back. What are some of the other things you do to try to get her back?
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I know it's silly, but that's where I'm at.
But see, the part of you that, go ahead.
Well, yeah. If I buy if I collect all the butterflies in the world, if I do this, if I do that, she's going to come back. But I know that's not possible.
And the best gift you can give yourself is to have your mind connect properly with reality. Meaning, if you know it's not possible, if you're even using the word silly, really let your mind explore that. You can even sit down and write, I know it's not possible. The butterflies won't bring her back. It's lovely imagery. It could be fantasy. It is fantasy. But she can't come back. And help your mind grasp that the loss is final. Because
I think I just haven't dealt with it. It's been 5 years, and I don't think
then you can go back into counseling if I don't know if you were in counseling, but because I'm sitting here looking at a page right now from one of the top grief counselors that says there are 6 processes of mourning the grief. One is to recognize the loss. You have to acknowledge and understand the death. It sounds like you've done that. I know we're wrapping up with time too. You need to experience the pain, react to the separation, and deal with any of the losses. You need to remember the person who died, Katie, in ways that make sense, but you have to let go of the fact that she's there and build what's called a parallel life, a new life for yourself, and that's not abandoning Katie. You'll keep all of your treasured memories. You can't have her back, but you can always keep the memories. And you readjust to the world in a way that's much more adaptive for you, much healthier for you and for your other children. So listen, I want to wish you a lot of success with this, and you need to reinvest your energy in values that do exist while still loving your memories of Katie. Thank you so much for the call. I'm Dr. Ellen Kenner on the Rational Basis of Happiness. Toll free 1-877-Dr. Kenner.
Here's an excerpt from The Selfish Path to Romance, the Serious Romance Guidebook by clinical psychologist Dr. Ellen Kenner and co-author Dr. Edwin Locke, who's world famous for his theories in goal setting.
A note on selfish romance. Of course you can do non-sacrificial favors. Let's look at this issue from a genuinely loving perspective. If you adore your partner, you will selfishly enjoy doing things to please him or her. This doesn't just mean ceasing the annoying negative things such as calling your partner fatty or refusing to help around the house. It also means giving your partner positive values such as listening attentively, writing love notes, and bringing flowers. This is such an important topic that we devote all of Part 4 to how to nurture your love for one another.
You can download Chapter 1 for free by going to drkenner.com, and you can buy The Selfish Path to Romance at Amazon.com.